Hi, my name's Tanya Williams, Chief of Everything at Digital Conversations, and I'm very excited today to be here at Airtasker in their head office in Sydney, talking to Tim Fung, who is co-founder and CEO of Airtasker. Welcome, Tim.
Hi, Tanya. How's it going?
Good, thank you. I'm so excited to be talking to you guys today, and I've been following your journey, and I thought it was a great story to be able to share with an audience. Can you tell me more about, okay, when did you guys launch, and how did the idea come about? Like, where did the idea come from?
So Jono and I were working at the time at a mobile startup called Amacium.
Mm-hmm.
So we had been in frantic startup mode. And when I was moving apartments, we asked one of our friends to help us move. One of our friends owns a chicken factory, so he owns a truck, and he was getting asked every second weekend, "Can you help me move house? Can you get me move house?" So after a while, he started getting a bit sick of it. And what we started realizing is he didn't want to do all of these little jobs like furniture assembly, like moving boxes, like packing and cleaning, etc. But yet there were so many people in Australia who would be dying to find this kind of extra work.
Yeah.
So we thought, why isn't there a place where we can connect people like us with people who want to do this extra kind of jobs to earn some extra money?
So then what happened to the last project that you were working on? Did you end up going through and finishing that startup, or you just went, hey, I have a better idea?
No, so we were part of the founding team, but there was definitely the group of the founders who continued on in that business, and John and I left after about a year and a half, and it's a really exciting business that's going places in a very fast way, so it's all still good.
So how long did it take from that initial idea, from there to launch? Like, what was that time sort of period like?
So it took us about 9 months to actually, from coming up with an idea, whiteboarding a bunch of wireframes, and then sitting in the lounge room and trying to come up with exactly how we'd go and do it.
So many good ideas start from the lounge room, right?
Definitely, and we're very lucky. Jono's got a really nice lounge room that we're a very comfortable couch, so a lot of wireframing happened there, and it took us about 9 months to actually get live into the market.
Wow, so it's been a couple of years now, right?
Yes, so we launched in March 2012, so a little over 3 years ago, and I can tell you the first 2 years were definitely very, very difficult.
They always are, right?
Yeah, full of sleepless nights and sweaty brows.
So what's the uptake been like? Like, how has the market reacted to it once you launched it?
So when we started, it was fairly slow. You get a little bit of a burst when you start because everyone's excited about a new idea, but then you graduate into actually having to find real users and real customers. And for us, that took about 2 years to build that up. But after that 2-year period, it's really started to grow itself, and that's the magic of being in a two-sided marketplace. It starts off very slow because you get to convince two sides to come to the party. But once you're going, more breeds more. So it's been going really well in the last year and a half.
Awesome, love it. So now, one of the things that you guys talk about is you call your service providers runners, which I think is really cool. So how do you go about vetting standards for the service providers? Because obviously anyone can sort of sign up, and quality and quality assurance and all those sorts of things could be issues. What's that sort of process look like for you guys?
So Airtasker's got a lot of marketplace mechanics, and what we're trying to do is replicate what happens in the real world, which is that you go out to a bunch of service providers, they come back to you with their offer in terms of what they can do and how much they want to charge. And only you can see those offers, not everybody else. So there's definitely a marketplace mechanic that people want to do the right thing because they want to get great feedback from you when that job's finished in order to get more jobs moving forward. So we have very few bad eggs come into that equation.
Because obviously they wouldn't last long. They get weeded out because no one's going to actually use their service.
Exactly, and we've got a great customer service team as well that makes sure that if something goes wrong, you've got somewhere to go to and complain about that and make sure that those things don't happen again. On top of that, we provide full third-party public liability insurance for across all of our workers. So if you drop a vase or you stub someone's toe or something like that, we're going to be there to make sure that that works out well for you.
So obviously you guys are across a lot of different areas. So if you need a lawn mowed or errands run, all that sort of stuff. Where do you see the biggest potential? Are there still other areas that you want to bring on as categories in the business, or you see certain areas that are much more popular than others?
So we started off in the consumer space, really targeting people for things like cleaning and handyman jobs.
Yep.
And what we noticed is over time that small businesses would always, because they're rational, they're always going to find the best way to do things.
Yeah.
So we started seeing very organically small businesses start to come onto the platform. And that's now progressing into even large businesses, big retail chains, etc., trying to use Airtasker as a platform to have a scalable workforce. But actually, the most exciting part about Airtasker is the idea that we can create a job out of nothing. So, for example, when the iPhone 6 came out and people wanted people to line up for them to get the iPhone 6, there's really nowhere else you can go to get that kind of service, but it's something that you want.
So I paid someone to wait in line to buy my iPhone 6 through Airtasker.
Exactly. So we had about 400 people posting jobs to have people line up, so the hundreds of people outside the Sydney store alone. And we've created a job, we've created an exchange of value out of that. And so that's really the area that we think is the most exciting, is this new consumer market that no one's even realised how big it is. And we estimate that it's about $25 billion market in Australia alone. We think it's a really exciting place to be.
That's so exciting. So how have you grown the business today? Like, I imagine that social media has played a part of it. How big a part has social media played in growing the brand?
Airtasker's got a lot of social mechanics sort of baked into it, so we rely on the Facebook social graph to bring in a lot of information about our users, and because of that, people see when other people join Airtasker, and so that sort of penetrates the social media landscape. On top of that, it's a lot about building a community. So we use social media to publicise our top workers and how well they're doing, tips on how to earn more money, or tips on how to outsource things effectively. So for us, social is not so much a marketing channel, but it is definitely a community engagement platform for us.
And I mean, what other digital channels have you been using to grow the brand as well? Obviously, social's one part of it. What else have you found successful?
So we've obviously found PR really exciting. We're trying to show Australians how they can use Airtasker to get stuff done.
Because you can never rely on your husband to get it done, right?
That's exactly right. And research tells us that. Research tells us that that's definitely the case. So we're definitely out there. Like, publicity for us is really important to be showing Australians the people on our platform and who they really are as people. So a lot of case studies and profiling these kinds of people. We've never had a big budget for marketing, unfortunately. So
most startups don't, right?
So it's been a lot about product development and trying to bake in things that we think will help spread the word about Airtasker. But fundamentally, it's always been about product development, and we're a very technology-focused company. So most of the guys here are obsessing over how they can make the experience better, and that will drive the marketing.
Very, very cool. So would you class yourself as a digital disruptor? Do you put yourself in that space?
We definitely feel disruptive, but we also feel that we're creative in the sense that we are definitely telling people, hey, you used to get cleaning done in this rigid, vertical way. Now you can come to Airtasker and get it in a very tailored and bespoke way. So I guess we're disrupting a lot of industries by giving that proposition. But more than anything, we are more excited about creating new job opportunities. So making work where there wasn't work before, and just connecting.
Lining up for iPhones.
Exactly, and that's probably a bit of a more quirky example. But another example might be just getting your windows cleaned inside. It's pretty hard if you've just got sort of 8 window panes that you need cleaned and dusted to go and call a big window cleaning agency to get that done.
We don't need a whole house, I just need this.
I just need something small done, and before it was it's too difficult to make these smaller transactions work. But through a simple platform, suddenly it does really become a job that someone can do for a living.
I need someone to come and clean my windows. So what has been your strategy for actively engaging with customers to convert them across your digital channels?
Our main focus with services is that when they're very different to products. services are such that when you really need a service, you'll sort of pay anything you need to get that done. But if you don't need it, you're just not interested. Very different to a pair of shoes, where you might be able to be.
Pair of shoes, Tim.
Yeah, you can be convinced when you don't need a pair of shoes to buy a pair of shoes. Depends on your outlook on life, I guess. But with services, what we found is it really has to be quite targeted and contextual. So if you need cleaning, we need to be there when you need cleaning. When you're not interested in cleaning, we don't even want to talk to you at all, because we want to leave you alone. So we've always found ways to find out when a consumer is flagging demand to us. So there are some obvious ones there, things like Google. When people search for cleaning, they're telling us they're looking for cleaning. Similarly, when people are buying certain products, so for example, if you go to an Airbnb apartment and that person leaves the apartment, it's going to have to be cleaned. So that's an example of cleaning, but we do that across all of our categories. We think about when do people flag to us that they're interested in the product, and then we jump on them.
And there's obviously a lot of collection of data on the back end of all of that to find out all that information. Then once you've got that data, how then do we use it to translate that to providing more services?
Absolutely. So correlating behaviour with a want or a demand for a type of service.
Wow, it's fascinating stuff. So do you guys do any traditional marketing, or it's very digitally focused?
As I said, we haven't really had any money to do any traditional marketing, but bit of PR, but definitely our aim is to create an exciting brand in Australia, and we want people to know and trust Airtasker. So we've just raised a great deal of venture capital. So we're going to be out in the market and telling people about what we do.
Awesome. When you become, obviously, when any brand starts to become successful, sometimes there are copycats that pop up into the market, or people that go, oh yeah, we can do that too. Have you guys had much of that yet?
Definitely. We've seen a lot of smaller startups try to sort of replicate an Airtasker model. But one of the hardest things to do is to build a network of users. So we haven't seen anyone do that at scale. We've also had some of the big dogs in town try to come in and eat our lunch, but even for them, it's quite hard for them to do that.
Cool. So, I mean, what's been your biggest challenge so far then?
I think the biggest challenge for us has definitely been trying to build and scale a team of really dedicated, awesome developers, product managers, and marketers. And that's always going to be a challenge in Australia. I think it's a small population. We've got some great talented people, but we've also got some great companies that are taking all those awesome people out of the market. So for us, it's really been, we're very picky about how we hire. So it's been a huge challenge to build that at scale, and we want to move fast, but we're also not willing to compromise on not having A players in our team. So definitely building a team is probably the biggest challenge we're going through.
Part of that hiring challenge is for you guys really much making sure that they're a cultural fit in terms of they've got the right values that match with what you guys are trying to do, and be able to follow that vision and make sure that they're the right fit for your existing team, I suppose, as well.
Absolutely. Culture is everything. So that's sort of like the first box I think that you need to tick. And we've hired a lot of guys who have proactively come in the door and said, I really want to work here. And we're like, well, that's a huge box ticked before you're even talking about skills. We even had one of our developers serve drinks at a Christmas drinks party via Airtasker. So he bid on a job, came in as an Airtasker and said, hey, by the way, I'm an engineer. I build websites. I've built you guys another website. And we sort of hired him on the spot. So.
Love that. That's such a cool story.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So where to from here with you guys? What's the next big thing on the horizon? Like what's Airtasker going to look like in 1 or 2 years' time?
We really want to become the place where everyone thinks, when I need something done, when I need a service, when I need labour, I'm going to go to Airtasker. Yes, and absolutely, we want to become a verb. So we want people to Airtask it.
Just like they Google it.
That's right. So we're definitely doing what we're doing now and doing it more. And we're doing that in a couple of ways with some exciting distribution partnerships and working with some really big companies. I can't really talk about them too much, but this year is sort of planned out for us. We know what we're doing.
Wow, exciting times.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Tim. I've loved hearing about the story and how you guys have grown to this level, and I'm sure the sky's the limit when it comes to where you guys are going to take this, because I think you've got a very unique offering in the market, and as you said, that scale is so much a part of you being able to take it to a whole new level. But I think what you guys are doing is awesome, so I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to watching and using the services, of course, over the next sort of few years.
Thanks, Tanya. No pressure.
No pressure at all. Thanks, Tim.